All right, thanks everybody for joining me. Filipino martial arts, the 6th of May. Gosh, I think this is week 7 or something. It's good times, whatever it is. Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, Japanese. This class, what I thought I would do, we've been putting a lot of our energy into Dog Brothers as it relates to Lamako, combative stuff, theory and combinations that I think is really good for stick fighting. What I'd like to do with this class is I'd like to give you a better overview of the way that I organize my curriculum, because I haven't been able to cover as many weapons configurations with all of you as I actually teach. So yes, let's start single stick, but we're gonna break out of that fairly quickly, okay? So let's start single stick here. And I am gonna bring my wife in at various times. You're good for a few minutes here. And I say this every time. My wife has a very extensive background in movement. She also did some judo at a pretty high level a long time ago. And she's absolutely helping me out to the best of her abilities. It's just that she doesn't work on a lot of this material with me, but she does a really beautiful job trying to help me demo. And it's, you know, my wife and my 2 kids are my only available resources. And they do a beautiful job. So if you see my wife and I kind of giving each other a smirk, it's just because, you know, we're all trying to do the best we can for you so you can learn at home. Okay, anyways, I start off with the Eskrima 1 numbering system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Freeze on 5, please. Make sure you're flexing your forearm. That's the way it was taught to me. We call 5 a palm up thrust, not this. See how my wrist is straight here? This is what I want. Just got a little bit of oomph. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. 6 is out here to the chest or the clavicle. 7, you're gonna arc it to the other side, chest or clavicle. 8, without opening your fingers, flip and hit them in their right temple and let the stick go low. 9, rising diagonal to their left knee. 10, backhand rising diagonal to their right knee. Flip this over and hit them in their left temple for 11. Bring this down, thrust up, and end on your left shoulder or your opposite side shoulder. If you're left-handed, you're on your right. If you're right-handed, you're on your left. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, palm up for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this is very important. Is that the best numbering system? No. Is that the right, R-I-G-H-T, numbering system? No. That's the first one that I teach. That's the first one that I was taught. I put them out. This is Sifu Guro Bud Thompson out of Whittier, California. He's the oldest active full instructor. He's in his early 90s now, still teaching martial arts, certified by Guro Inosanto. He was my first instructor in this lineage, very good instructor. That's the Eskrima 1 numbering system is the first numbering system that I learned from him. And because that's kind of my background, that's the first one that I teach to most people. But I don't, that whole tribalism thing where if you are, how dare you even think about another numbering system? Nope, that's not how I approach my practice. I find all of that fascinating, okay? And we'll talk about that. All right, the next thing that I teach at the first level, everybody take this backhand chamber position in a right lead. You've all done this before. At the first level, I believe if all of you just do your backhand, you can backhand the first 5 angles as I feed them, right? And you're just, that first one would just be just the backhand wa-tik. Then the first follow-up is you backhand and make the X. Okay, so if you destroy my 1, then you make the X. And the 2, and then you'd make the X. And normally I would feed you 5 reps minimum and let you install that. But you've all been working with me for a few weeks, you got it, okay? The next variable is you're gonna backhand and redondo, okay? So if you destroy the angle, bring it back and make a redondo. Destroy the angle, bring it back and make the redondo, right? Destroy the angle, bring it back and make the redondo. And I'm pulling it back a little bit because tonight I want to kind of cover as much of my yellow belt, my first level FMA requirements as possible. You all know by now the backhand series goes on. You have X to redondo, you have redondo to the X. I introduced those follow-ups at the orange belt or the second level, and then you have backhand to the keylot. Everybody remember the keylot was the flip to the X. Those 3 beats, 1, 2, 3. That's called keylot. And then we had the split the Kawaiian, loop the clavicle, 2, 3, 4, down the 12 o'clock, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Loop it down the line, up the line, redondo. Loop it down the line, up the line, redondo. Well, I teach those 2, the keylot and the split the Kawaiian at the green belt level normally. But with all of you, I've been just kind of I have a really advanced group. You're all game. You all learn super fast. So I've been jumping around, which has been a lot of fun. But from the standpoint of the yellow belt, just the backhand, which I know is a little anticlimactic at this point because you all know so much more than that. The backhand to the X and the backhand to the redondo. That's what I require from the backhand series in the first level. Now I'm going to bring Gene in. In the first level, the introduction to the energy drills or the tappy-tappy kind of drills is 1 count sombrata. Okay, so Gene, is, as far as I know, has never done this before. So we're going to go, and which is kind of cool because then you just watch me teach it to her, and everybody here, you're going to pick it up like that. So as you no harder than that, you go for the top of my head. I roof and you hit through, okay? And now I go for the top of your head, and right from here, you bring this up. And now, we're going back and forth. Perfect. And then the only other thing is just raise your other hand. And then other than that, that's it, okay? So this, for everybody watching, this is 1 count sombrata, contra y contra sombrata, counter for counter training at the largo range, right? Which we're cheating a little bit because we don't really have the room to fully express largo and have me stay in the shot. Okay, time, beautiful. You stay right here. That's perfect, okay? So now again, super advanced group of people on my screen. So imagine somebody with very, imagine somebody with very minimal experience. That's a really good drill because they're getting confidence, they're moving, they're not trying to take each other's heads off. They are actually intercepting an angle in real time. It's an excellent drill. And it's showing them the idea of sombrata, which is every so many beats. See, I'm defensive, I'm offensive. I'm defensive, I'm offensive. That's what we say, contra y contra sombrata, counter for counter training, okay? So that's that drill at largo, which I introduce single stick Inosanto La Costa requirements for your yellow belt. That's the A version. The B version is the same thing, but now you're gonna kind of stop it. You're not gonna go through. Here, now I check. I can check with my live hand the way that I prefer to do it, which is inside like this, or I can check on the outside. She does the same thing. So you roof and check. And we're just going back and forth, okay? And yeah, this is a little bit of training artifice because in the last version, we were going all the way through. And here, time, we're kind of pulling it, okay? Once the practitioner feels confident though, you don't have to stop your attack, come in. You're practicing actually shutting it down with that check. But that's the way that I teach it safely to beginners. Very simple, okay? So 1 count sombrata at largo, so there's no checking. We're too far away. And 1 count sombrata at medio, which we have to check. Okay, time. And thank you, okay? And with the medio version, this is a really important takeaway for everybody. I introduced that as a 2-handed drill. Both of your hands are getting educated, even though one has a stick and one doesn't. That's very important. Largo, aside from just keeping this up, this hand is not getting educated. Okay, it's very one-sided, you know, it's focused on that stick hand. The stick hand is defensive, then it's offensive. It's defensive, then it's offensive. Here, this is a 2-handed drill. Okay, because in the second level, we're going to get into some drills. I like to refer to them as pre-sombrata drills. And the education of the live hand at medio is super important. Okay, that's all we're still going to stay with 1 stick. That's all the Inosanto La Costa single stick requirements. Just those 3 things. The Eskrima 1, the 12-angle numbering system. Backhand series, just the destruction. Backhand series with the X. And then backhand series with the redondo. 1 count sombrata. If it's at largo, there's no checking. Obviously, it's too far away. If it's at medio, then yes, you must check, or it is technically incorrect, according to me. Okay, all right. Also at the yellow belt, we're gonna have 5 single stick requirements for applied Eskrima Balintawak. All right, so applied Eskrima, he's up too, great, I remember. Applied Eskrima Balintawak is the system created by Master Virgil Cavada out of Hacienda Heights in eastern Los Angeles County, also Southern California. He is one of the senior students of Grandmaster Attilia, okay? And for various reasons, he formed his own organization about a decade and change ago. And for some time, Guru Inosanto was actually driving out to Master Virgil's house to take private lessons. And anybody who gives private lessons to Dan Inosanto in anything is somebody that I want to learn from. And when I was in Southern California, Master V, was what we call Master Virgil, was not that far away from the city where I live. So I'm a first module 1, he's got 10 modules. Each one is almost like a separate system. I'm a module 1 instructor. I'm supposed to take my module 2 exam. It was supposed to be in July. We'll see what happens, but there you go. There's going to be 5 lessons here. They're gonna go really fast with this group that's in front of me. Module 1 has lessons A through Z. Some of the letters have very little, as you're about to see. Some of the letters have an awful lot of stuff, as you'll see later. Lesson A, greetings. Everybody take your stick, put it neutral in your left hand, okay? If we were actually physically together, we would link at the wrist. So just imagine that we meet at the wrist, okay? That's the way, because Balintawak was traditionally taught one-on-one, That's the way that we salute, okay? So for example, when I was in Southern California and I used to train with Master Virgil, or even when he was in New York City in the fall updating my training, the first time I see him, we do that, wrist to wrist, okay? And then we train, and then our session is about to come to an end, whatever that looks like. All right, sir, good to see you. We do that again. And then, you know, when it was California, I would get in my car and drive away, okay? So that's the salutation, and that's all of lesson A, greetings. And that's supposed to represent the blood oaths that the Spanish made the Filipino people, which, my bad joke here, if you know history, didn't work out so well, but there you go, okay? That's lesson A. Lesson B, everybody get in a lead, right lead, put your stick in your right hand. For applied Eskrima Balintawak, you want no more than 2 fingers for the length of your puño. Inosanto La Costa, you can have a fist. Applied Eskrima Balintawak, they want no more than 2 fingers. Why is that? Because Balintawak is always a single stick system. It's the opposite of like Illustrissimo, where the stick represents a sword and you can't ever touch the stick. Balintawak, this is a stick. It's always a stick. We grab it, we steal it, we disarm. So they don't want a super long puño. They want to be able to strike with the puño and maybe clip, but they don't want enough length there so that it can be grabbed. So 2 fingers. Everybody take your left forearm, put it up against the stick. So I'll turn, you can stay where you're at. See how there's no space? It's actually touching. It's actually touching. And now everybody rotate. Rotate. Everybody squat and rotate to the best of your abilities. Try to get a 180, but see what you can do. Okay, beautiful. Come back up to fully standing without bumping into anything. And Karen's probably going to laugh at me because earlier I literally kicked my computer during the kids class because the space is so small. Without bumping into anything, step forward into a left lead. So you change your lead by advancing. You can still rotate. You can still squat and rotate. Very nice. Now, step back without bumping into anything into a right lead again. Rotation, squatted rotation, and so on. Okay. You now pretty much know everything there is to know about lesson B, as in boy, stances. This is our textbook Balintawak block for applied Eskrima Balintawak. If you're in Quintada with Grandmaster Bobby Cavada, this doesn't exist. The block is all about having your elbow at your side and bracing, okay? So this is the block in applied Eskrima Balintawak. When we get rushed and sloppy, it might look like this. So we're gonna try not to do that. We're gonna try to keep this vertical and keep it here. And you can change your lead by advancing, and you can change your lead by retreating. You can rotate, and you can squat and rotate. What I just gave you a verbal summary of, that's pretty much lesson B, all there is to know. And this block here, you know, how practical is that, Brian? This is the block from this system. It's a close range system. If you touch hands with Master Virgil or me on a good day, this block works pretty well, okay? Could there be circumstances where this block is not the best thing? Like you're fighting Steve Sachs. I know I'm out of the shot, guys, sorry. You're fighting Defender Dog, Steve Sachs, who runs Dog Brothers in New York City and is just a big, strong, scary dude. And you're fighting him with this Krabi Krabong stick. Do you want to do that block? I don't know, that might not be the right block. in that time and space. Does it mean it's a bad block? No. It's got its time and place, but that's the block. Okay? All right. Lesson C, the 12 strikes. So what? You're going to make me memorize another 12-angle numbering system? Well, the good news, it's really easy to memorize based off Eskrima 1. The first 4 angles are going to be horizontal. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you already basically know a third of it. Then we're going to do 3 thrusts. The thrusts that you already know are going to help you memorize this. 5 is the same without bending your wrist, but you're going to put your left hand here so you can do like a bayonet style thrust. Okay, so you have horizontal, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 5. Okay, now 6 over the technology is the hardest for me to teach you, trust me, but you can get it. Okay, just let go and bring your left hand up. Arc this to the left side of your body. Now turn your palm, your left palm facing your right palm, and grab the stick. Here's 6. 6. Okay. Another way to think about it, let me just, so remember in Eskrima 1, we went 5, 6, and 7. You had to do an arc thrust for 7. Do that same arc thrust first for Balintawak 6, and then just come in and grab the stick. And then, because all the thrusts in Balintawak bayonet, and that's the same in Quintada as well. Whenever they thrust, they want to do like a 2-handed bayonet. 7, I come back here and I just grab, and here's my 7. Okay? So let's see where we're at. We have 4 horizontals. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 thrusts. 5, 6, 7. We have 4 diagonals now. 8, 9, 10, 11, and then we have 1 backhand redondo, after which we do our block, and then we're done. Okay, so 4 horizontals. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 thrusts. 5, 6, 7. 4 diagonals. 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 1 redondo to a block, and then back to our fighting posture. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Back. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The hardest part for most people is the thrusts. Once you have the thrust down, okay, like 4 horizontals, 4 flats, 3 thrusts, 4 diagonals, 2 down, 2 up, 1 redondo, and then just remember to do this block. Okay. Look at all of you. You all look great. Okay, so let's all count it and let's do it all together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, thrust 5, bring it over, thrust 6, nice, thrust 7, down for 8, pardon me, down for 9, up for 10, up for 11, and then just let this go through, do your block for a quick second, come back to posture. Beautiful, okay? So that's lesson C, the 12 strikes. Lesson D and lesson E, I'm going to go really fast because I'm running out of time, and if you train with me in person, me struggling, not going 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes over time is kind of a thing because I love martial arts so much. So I want to try to honor your time. So lesson D, the 12 strikes halfway to defense. So 1 goes out halfway and I come back to defense. 2, defense. 3, defense. 4, defense. 5, there's no real change there. 6, just you kind of express it like that and drop into your defense. 7, same thing. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that starts, hits 12 o'clock, and then just comes back to defense. Okay, so excuse me, I have a colleague here in New York City. Pardon me for a second. She's Filipino American. She did not move to the United States from the Philippines until after college. So, I mean, she's very much of both places. She is kind of my check a lot of the time for terminology that I've been taught. Because the very last thing that I want to do is, you know, be the white boy who tells her about her culture. Okay, that's the opposite of what I want to be. So her name's Claudette. Usually I just say, Claudette, what about this term? What about that? And she just kind of tells me, oh, no, that doesn't, I don't think that means what you think that means, or that doesn't match up. The reason I bring that up, watik, a strike that hits and retracts. That is a term when I've talked it over, pardon me, with Claudette, she's been like, I don't know where that comes from. She doesn't necessarily agree. But that's also a term that I've been using for almost 18 years now. I'm still gonna offer it, but I'm gonna offer it with the caveat that I just gave you, okay? So lesson D is all watiks. Nothing goes through. Lesson E, our final Balintawak lesson for level 1, lesson E is lobtiks. So it's the 12 strikes all the way through to defense. 4, 5. So let's do this real quickly. So everybody hit a 1, go all the way through and block. 2, go all the way through. 3, 4. Now 5, there's no real change. 6 and 7, though, I have to show you this because I wouldn't have guessed this. It goes downward, diagonal, and through. Yep. 7, downward, diagonal, and through. The rest of them are pretty intuitive, right? Here's 8. Here's 9. 10's a little awkward because you just got to kind of come back to that position. 11. And then 12, we go back to doing it the way that you learned it in the numbering system. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. Apply to Eskrima Balintawak. Lesson A, remember, was greetings. Lesson B was stances, rotating, squatting and rotating, changing your lead by advancing, changing your lead by retreating. Lesson C, the 12 strikes. You all did all 12 angles of apply to Eskrima Balintawak with me several times and look good doing it. It's just a matter of installing it. Lesson D, the 12 strikes halfway. So watiks, if that term is to be believed, right? Lesson E, the 12 strikes all the way through to defense. Lobtiks. Watik is hit and retract. Lobtik is when it goes all the way through to the other side. The only ones on lobtiks, lesson E, that are a little tricky, remember 5 just kind of goes out. 6 and 7, though, downward diagonal. Downward diagonal. All the other ones, you can practice on your own, okay? So that's all of the single stick Inosanto La Costa, and that's all of the applied Eskrima Balintawak for my first level of my curriculum. Applied Eskrima Balintawak, at least for my, it's always going to be single stick, okay? let's go double stick. We can do this very quickly. Two coordination drills. I believe we did them a few weeks ago. Sticks either up or on your shoulder. If you elect to put them on your shoulder, don't feel lazy, because what you're avoiding is striking with one stick and dropping the other. That's what we're trying to avoid. Okay, so this is good. This is good. Hitting with one and dropping the other is never good. Okay, so Ikis, make the X with the right, make the X with the left. Forehand, backhand, forehand, backhand. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 1, angle 2. It's a 4-beat combination. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most common errors that I see, not that you're making any of them, people for some reason want to go forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand. Just avoid that. You're open, open to closed, closed to open, open to closed, closed to open, right? Angle 1, angle 2, angle 1, angle 2. Forehand shot, backhand shot, forehand shot, backhand shot. Okay, very simple. Ikas. I-K-A-S. That's the way we anglicize that one. Empty 6 is next. Same position. High inward, low backhand, high backhand. High inward, low backhand, high backhand. Everybody's doing it properly. Let me give you a different angle though. Here we go. Okay. So it's like an angle 1 that doesn't go all the way through, an angle 10. I'm doing applied Eskrima, Eskrima 1 when I name these angles. An angle 10 that doesn't go all the way through, and an angle 2. High inward, low backhand, high backhand. High inward, low backhand, high backhand. So it's a 6-beat pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most common errors. These are not abanicos. So you're not using your wrist. See how that's abanico? This is wrist. It's your whole arm. My whole arm swings low, right? Swings through to low to high. There will be other patterns later in the curriculum that do abanico type motions. There's nothing wrong with those. It's just not what we're doing here. Okay, so Ikis and empty 6. The next skill, which is totally within the grasp of everybody, would be to put them together. 1 rep Ikis, 1 rep empty 6. Not too difficult for the level that's in front of me. Okay. Old school Bryan, like right when I really started teaching in these areas, there used to just be 7 coordination drills at the first level, and I just wanted them memorized. Like I wanted you to be able to Ikis, Ikis, empty 6, redondo 6, umbrella 6, heaven 6, standard 6, earth 6. That's what I wanted. Now, based on your background, you might be like, oh, that's super easy. Think about most people, though, starting out. There's probably some of you that are like, whoa, what's the big deal? I can do all 7 of those. But so now things are a little bit more broken down and a little bit more sequential. So just the Ikis and then just the empty 6. Those are the first 2 coordination drills that I start people off with. Okay, which is gonna bring us, into double stick versus single stick abecedario. So here's what I'd like everybody to do. You have your sticks open, and this isn't the perfect visual, but it is a good visual that'll get you where you want to get. I want you to imagine your sticks are the blades of a pair of scissors. We all know what scissors are. And a working pair of scissors, you have to have both blades working in coordination to actually cut paper. If your scissors break, you have like a knife now, right? So both sticks in both directions are blades of scissors. That's the visual, at least, to get you started. Okay, so when I say go, I want everybody to take a small step to their left, and I want you to cross your arms over each other with your right stick sort of on top or in front, like this. Go. Try that, okay? And I've had actual debates, and I don't want to engage in that, whether this is my right hand, if this is on top or in front, whatever word you need to use so that this is your right hand, so that your right hand doesn't end up here, because now my right hand is stuck. That's the opposite of what I want, right? Here, you're going to hit an angle 2 and then return to closed. Then you're going to reverse scissor open and step to your right. Do that now. And then hit an angle 1. Okay? So it's very simple. Scissor closed and go to your left. Hit an angle 2 and stay closed. And then reverse scissor open and go to your right. Hit an angle 1 and stay open. Very simple. Close and go to your left. Hit a shot and stay closed. Reverse scissor open and go to your right. Hit the shot and stay open. Okay. So where we would go, Gene, is, and again, Jean is going to do her darndest to help me. You're going to give me angle 1 super slow. I close it. You're going to meet it and stay on that side of your body. Stay on that side of your body. Good. Then you'd give me angle 2, backhand. And you'd open it and meet it and stay open. Then you give me angle 3, so horizontal. I close it, meet it and stay closed, or stay on that side of your body. Then 4, and you meet it, always meet it high. And then you're giving me thrust right down the middle. And then meet it on the backhand side. There we go. So what I've got going on here, everybody, and this will probably be the last thing we have time for. The forehand angles, 1, 3, and 5. I'm open and I close those and meet it with a high backhand. The backhand angles, 2 and 4, for at least these drills, I'm going to be closed. I'm going to open them, meet it high, and stay open. Okay? So give me angle 1, forehand diagonal, nice and slow. Close it, and I meet it. Give me angle 2. I open it, and I meet it. Give me angle 3. Close it. We always meet it with a high diagonal. Beautiful. 4, I open it, and I meet it high. And 5, I go right down the middle, and then I still meet it. Okay? Now, when you see this, like with Guro Inosanto and Guro Joel, they'll do it against a whole numbering system, and they'll and you look at it and you go, well, I can't, that's too much stuff. I can't do that. Remember the way that I just taught it to you. There's only 2 variables. Variable number 1, you start open and you're being given a forehand angle, so you close it and meet it on the backhand side and stay closed. That's the first variable. The second variable, you're being given a backhand angle, you open it, meet it with an angle 1 and stay open. That's all you got to do. And then, yes, I'm changing the elevation of my scissors a little bit, my guntings, but that's all I'm doing. So watch, Gene, feed me again. Nice and slow, right? So I close 1 and I meet it. I open 2 and I meet it. I close 3 and I meet it. I open 4 and I meet it. I close 5 and I meet it. Now, give me any backhand angle. I open it and I meet it. Give me a different forehand angle. Anyone. Close it, meet it. Give me a different backhand angle. Open it, meet it. This is what I'm trying to say. There's only 2 variables. I close forehand angles and meet it and stay closed. I open backhand angles and meet it and stay open. I'll put Gene over here before we run out of time. So watch one more time. We're going to go even a little slower, okay? I close 1 meet it and stay closed. I open 2, meet it and stay open. I close 3, meet it and stay closed. Freeze. 3 was identical to 1, except I changed the elevation. 4, I open 4 and I meet it. Freeze, please. 4 was identical to 2, except I changed the elevation. And now 5, I go right down the pipe and close it, and I meet it. That's double stick versus single stick abecedario, first level. Now, what is that actually supposed to be representing? Super slow motion angle 1. Destroy the arm, freeze, hit the head. Give me angle 2. Destroy the arm, hit the head. 3, destroy the arm, hit the head. 4, destroy the arm, hit the head. 5, destroy the arm, hit the. That's what the drill is simulating. But for safety, now we do it the regular way. Close and meet. Open and meet. Close and meet it. Open and meet it. Close the file. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, so for all of you, thank you so much. That was great. Okay. All right. So for all of you, we have this linen cabinet that's just off camera. If you have anything you can touch in your living environment, not hit, but touch. Close, touch, open, touch. Close, lower the elevation a little bit because 3 and 4 are going to be midline. And then 5, just imagine you're being given that, okay? When I did have like a heavy bag or a bob dummy available to me, it's fantastic to just blast like with all of that. You gunting close, hit, gunting open, hit, and just rep that, all right? This is double stick versus single stick abecedario, level 1. And this is in the Illustrissimo and the Villabrea family of drills as they influence Inosanto La Costa. And we'll talk some more about it's obviously a composite system. Guro Inosanto, I'm not making this number up, the man's a machine, certified by 34 different people in the Filipino martial arts alone. Okay, so Inosanto La Costa is heavily a composite system. And this drill really paves the way for some super cool progressions that are going to come later. And the easiest thing is just to remember, no matter what, you're doing a gunting closed, meeting it and staying closed against any forehand angles. You're doing a gunting open, meeting it and stay open against any backhand angles. I'll just share this virtually. What I really like to do, and we might just try this and I'll wrap up. When I work with a student, even if it's his or her first time doing this drill, if they're really getting it, because it's not a statement of ego, I've just taught it to enough people that I know how to make it accessible for most people. If they're really getting it, I'll usually feed Regino Illustrissimo all 12 angles, and they'll do the drill against all 12 angles, and then at the end of it kind of go, and they're just shocked. It's like, well, how did I do all that? Well, yeah, you totally did all of that, but the way that you did it was you remembered that there's only 2 variables. This is the first variable, this is the second variable. And then the only thing that changes is the elevation based on what angle you're being fed. So let's end with this, okay? You all keep your double sticks. I'm going to drop once because this is supposed to be your double stick versus my single stick. Okay, I'm going to verbally coach you through this. All right, and I look forward to the day that I actually get to physically feed you this drill. All right, but for now, let's do it over the technology. Okay, so close the 1, meet it, and stay closed. And remember, I'm giving you a different numbering system, but just follow. You can do it, okay? Open the 2, meet it, and stay open. Good. Close the 3, meet it, and stay closed. And we're always doing the meet on the high line. It's always a high forehand or a high backhand, so you're doing it correctly. Open the 4, meet it, and stay open. Okay. Now 5, just go right down the middle. Close the 5, meet it, and stay closed. Okay? Open the 6, meet it, and stay open. Close the 7, meet it, and stay closed. Nice job. Open the 8, meet it, and stay open. Close the 9, meet it, and stay closed. Open the 10, meet it, and stay open. And now 11 and 12 are tricky, but nothing changes. Close the 11, meet it, and stay closed. Open the 12, meet it, and stay open. Beautiful, okay? And that's more work for me remembering the numbering system than for you. All you're doing is visually, okay, where's the elevation of this particular angle? And you're just repeating those 2 variables. Okay, so that's the Regino Illustrissimo numbering system. I teach 6 or 7 now 12-angle numbering systems throughout my entire Filipino martial arts core curriculum. Not to be a collector, but because I like to see the different ways that the people do it. Okay, but that was awesome. And if you, again, the best thing would be to actually be there physically, but if you were like, okay, I kind of got that. Yeah, that's the way you're supposed to feel about it, because there's only 2 things that you're responsible for doing. But if it's not broken down to you, and I just go, okay, you're going to do the 1, then you're going to do the 2, and then you're going to do the 3, then the 4, and then that's why most people, they come away going, blah, 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 and they think, well, how does he expect me to do 12 things? I don't. I expect you to do 2 things in 6 sets, and anybody can do that, okay? So let's put our sticks down. Again, not to make it overly commercial, I am just trying to get this on every video. If anybody has any interest in formalizing and earning rank as far as your distance Filipino martial arts training with me, the URL is Stoops, OMALC.com. That URL will appear in the text for the YouTube video. Otherwise, sorry, I'm 10 minutes late. The class could be 4 hours long, and like it's not enough time. I really enjoy this a great deal, but thank you for your time. And again, please do, if it's possible, look at the previous class recordings. That way we make the most out of our time. That was awesome, everybody. Thanks. Okay, Chinese, Filipino, Thai, Indonesian, French and Dog Brothers, Japanese. Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a great week.